Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Futu Holdings third quarter 2023 conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After management's prepared remarks, there will be a Q&A session. Today's conference call is being recorded. If you have any objections, you may disconnect at this time. I would now like to turn the conference over to your host for today's conference call, Daniel Yuan, Chief of Staff to CEO and Head of IR at Futu. Please go ahead.
Thanks, operator, and thank you for joining us today to discuss our third quarter 2023 earnings results. Joining me on the call today are Mr. Leaf Li, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Arthur Chen, Chief Financial Officer, and Robin Xu, Senior Vice President. As a reminder, today's call may include forward-looking statements, which represent the company's belief regarding future events, which by their nature are not certain and are outside of the company's control. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. We caution you that a number of important factors could cause actual results to differ materially from those contained in any forward-looking statements. For more information about the potential risks and uncertainties, please refer to the company's filings with the SEC, including its annual report on Form 20-F. So with that, I will now turn the call over to Leaf. Leaf will make his comments in Chinese, and I will translate.
感谢大家参加今天的业绩会。三季度我们增加了约 6.5 万名有资产客户，环比增长 12%， 有资产客户总数达到165万，同比增长 14%。2023年前3个季度，我们获得了超过 16.3 万名有资产客户，已经高于年初时给出的全年获客指引。
Thank you all for joining today. In the third quarter, we acquired around 65,000 paying clients, a 12% sequential increase. Our total paying clients reached 1.65 million, up 14% year-over-year. 3 quarters into 2023, we have exceeded our full-year guidance by acquiring over 163,000 paying clients.
三季度，香港市场为我们贡献了超过 40% 的净增有资产客户。7月份，股市经历了短暂的反弹，刺激了客户的入市情绪，获客速度也有所提升。8、9月份，我们围绕政府绿债和银债的发行进行了有效的市场推广，进一步帮助我们吸引了许多资产配置导向的客户。7月底，我们在香港的第一家实体店正式开业，在实体店内，我们的工作人员协助客户进行开户，向客户演示产品的高阶功能，并回答客户对我们产品的疑问。实体店帮助我们提升了在香港市场的品牌认知，并以较低的获客成本吸引中老年人群体。3季度，55岁及以上的客户占实体店新增有资产客户的1半以上。
In the third quarter, Hong Kong market contributed over 40% of new paying clients. This acceleration in client acquisition was driven by the relief rally in the first half of the quarter and successful marketing around the government's green bond and silver bond issuances in the second half. These 2 bond offerings attracted allocation-driven clients to our platform. In late July, we opened the first offline store in Hong Kong to raise brand awareness, assist clients with account opening, demonstrate advanced product features, and address inquiries regarding our products and services. Through this offline store, we managed to attract middle-aged and senior clients at a lower customer acquisition cost. In fact, clients aged 55 and above contributed over 50% of paying clients acquired through the offline store in the third quarter.
在新加坡，我们围绕现金管理产品 Cash Plus 推出了一系列营销活动，取得了不错的效果。季度末有资产客户数同比增长 35%。在美国，随着新增有资产客户的净入资环比增长，客户质量进一步得到改善。9月份，我们在日本和加拿大正式上线了证券经纪业务，目前为日本客户提供美股的交易服务，为加拿大客户提供美股和加股的交易服务。在新市场展业初期，我们会把重心放在打磨开户入境的黄金流程，完善交易产品能力，以及不断优化品牌定位和迭代营销策略上。尽管全球股市表现疲软，我们的季度有资产客户留存率仍然保持在 98% 以上。
In Singapore, we launched successful marketing campaigns to promote our cash management product Cash Plus, thereby growing our paying clients by 35% year-over-year. We continue to observe improvement in client quality in the U.S. as net asset inflow of new paying clients trended higher. In September, we officially launched our brokerage business in Japan and Canada, now offering clients access to U.S. stock trading in Japan and U.S. and Canadian stock trading in Canada. During the early innings of market launch, we will remain focused on refining our account opening go-in process, expanding trading products, and honing our brand positioning and marketing messages. Despite bearish sentiments across global equity markets, we recorded another quarter of over 98% paying client retention rate.
我们持续在各个市场扩充交易产品品类。在新加坡，我们上线了税股功能，为新手投资者降低了美股的投资门槛。在香港和美国，我们优化了期权交易能力，为活跃期权交易者推出组合期权移仓功能，支持期权交易者将即将到期的期权合约以不同的到期日和执行价进行移仓，这大大提升了期权策略的灵活性。
We continue to enrich trading product offerings across markets. In Singapore, we launched fractional shares for U.S. stocks and ETFs to enhance accessibility for novice investors. We optimized our product for active options traders by introducing multi-leg options rollover strategy in Hong Kong and the U.S. This trading function gives options traders flexibility to roll contracts near expiration to a later date at different strike prices.
客户总资产达到4680亿港币，同比增长27%。尽管市场回撤对客户持仓市值带来了负面影响，得益于强劲的客户净入金，客户总资产环比仍保持稳定。值得一提的是，随着新增客户质量的不断提高，新加坡客户的总资产连续第5个季度实现了双位数的环比增长。和上季度获取的有资产客户相比，本季度新加坡新增有资产客户的固定资产余额环比增长了20%。
Total client assets increased by 27% year-over-year to 468 billion Hong Kong dollars. While the market pullback dragged the valuation of our client stock holdings, total client assets remained stable quarter-over-quarter due to robust net asset inflow. Notably, total client assets in Singapore achieved double-digit sequential growth for the 5th consecutive quarter, which was partially driven by higher new asset quality. The average asset balance of new paying clients in Singapore was 20% higher than the prior quarter.
客户在市场波动加剧的情况下，交易更加活跃，推动总交易量在第3季度反弹至 1.1 万亿港币，环比增长 14%， 其中美股交易量占比 75%， 美股科技7巨头的交易量攀升带动美股交易量环比增长 19%。由于客户对杠杆 ETF 的交易热情有所上升，港股交易量环比增长 5%， 融资融券余额环比小幅下降 4%。这主要是由于部分客户对一些美股明星科技股的空头仓位进行了平仓。
Trading volume in the third quarter rebounded as clients traded more actively amidst heightened volatility. Total trading volume increased by 14% sequentially to 1.1 trillion Hong Kong dollars, of which U.S. stock trading constituted around 75%. Higher trading turnover of the Magnificent Seven stocks led U.S. stock trading volume to grow by 19% quarter-over-quarter. Hong Kong stock trading volume increased by 5% sequentially, mainly driven by rising trading interests in leveraged and inverse ETFs. Margin financing and securities lending balance slipped 4% quarter-over-quarter as some clients unwound their bets against popular U.S. technology names.
财富管理客户总资产为520亿港币，同比增长 100%， 环比增长 19%。3季度，美国国债收益率保持在高位，带动客户债券资产余额环比增长 87%。在香港，随着宏观环境的不确定性增加，高净值客户的风险偏好有所下降，因而结构化套具备受欢迎。受此类产品拉动，私募产品余额环比增长 52%。在新加坡，财富管理产品的持仓人数同比增长了3倍，固金持仓规模也较去年同期有所提高。 这推动财富管理客户总资产规模同比增长5倍。3季度，我们进一步丰富新加坡市场的产品品类，上线了结构化票据和新加坡国债。
Total client assets in wealth management grew to 52 billion Hong Kong dollars as of quarter end, up 100% year-over-year and 19% quarter-over-quarter. In the third quarter, client assets in bonds increased by 87% sequentially as U.S. Treasury bills maintained high yields. In Hong Kong, structured notes were met with high demands from high net worth clients as their risk appetite abated amid macro uncertainties. As a result, private fund balance grew by 52% quarter-over-quarter. In Singapore, total client assets in wealth management increased by fivefold year-over-year, driven by tripling of wealth management clients and higher average asset balance. In the third quarter, we further expanded our product portfolio in Singapore by introducing structured notes and SGS bonds.
截至3季度末，我们有391家 IPO 分销和投资者关系客户，同比增长30%。3季度，我们作为联席账目管理人，参与了多宗大型香港 IPO， 其中包括途虎养车、第四办事和 Keep。同时，我们参与了所有在3季度末市值大于100亿港币的公司在香港的 IPO。根据万德数据统计显示，在前3季度，我们作为承销商参与了26宗香港 IPO 项目，在所有券商中排名第一。
We have 391 IPO distribution and IR clients as of quarter end, up 30% year-over-year. In the third quarter, we acted as joint book runners of several high-profile Hong Kong IPOs, including those of Tuhu Car, Four Paradigm, and Keep. We also participated in the Hong Kong IPOs of all companies with market capitalization over 10 billion Hong Kong dollars by the end of quarter. In the first 3 quarters, we underwrote 26 Hong Kong IPOs and ranked first among all Hong Kong brokers, according to Wind.
接下来有请我们的首席财务官 Arthur 介绍我们的财务表现。
Next, I'd like to invite our CFO Arthur to discuss our financial performance.
Thank you, Leaf and Daniel. Now, please allow me to walk you through our financial performance in the third quarter. All the numbers are in Hong Kong dollar unless otherwise noted. Total revenue was 2.7 billion, up 36% from 1.9 billion in the third quarter of 2022. Brokerage commission and handling charge income was 1 billion, an increase of 5% year-over-year and 6% Q-over-Q. Higher contributions from derivative trading lifted the blended commission rate from 8.8 basis point in the third quarter last year to 9.3 basis point this quarter. Interest income was 1.5 billion, an increase of 71% year-over-year and 7% Q-over-Q. The sequential increase was mainly driven by higher interest rates on clients' cash deposits, partially offset by lower cash balance. Other income was 137 million, up 28% year-over-year and 8% Q-over-Q. The increase was largely due to higher fund distribution income. Our total costs were 437 million, an increase of 101% from 218 million in the third quarter of 2022. Brokerage commission and handling charge expenses were 63 million, down 24% year-over-year and up 14% Q-over-Q. The expenses didn't move in tandem with brokerage commission and handling charge income, mainly due to cost saving from our U.S. self-clearing business. Interest expenses were 289 million, up 546% year-over-year and 31% Q-over-Q. The year-over-year and the Q-over-Q increase were both driven by higher interest expenses associated with our security lending business. Processing and servicing costs were 86 million, down 6% year-over-year and 13% Q-over-Q. The year-over-year decrease was mainly due to saving from cloud service fee as a result of system optimization, and the Q-over-Q decrease was mainly due to lower system usage fee. As a result, total gross profit was 2.2 billion, an increase of 28% from 1.7 billion in the third quarter of 2022. Gross margin was 84% as compared with 89% in the third quarter of 2022. Operating expenses was up 17% year-over-year and 5% Q-over-Q to 893 million. R&D expenses were 360 million, up 15% year-over-year and down marginally by 1% Q-over-Q. The year-over-year increase was mainly due to higher R&D headcount as we continue to upgrade our infrastructure, roll out new products and features, and customize products for international markets. Selling and marketing expenses was 212 million, down 10% year-over-year, and up 21% Q-over-Q. The expenses declined year-over-year due to lower customer acquisition costs, and the Q-over-Q increase was primarily driven by accelerated paying client growth. General and administrative expenses was 322 million, up 52% year-over-year and 3% Q-over-Q. The rise was primarily due to an increase in headcount for general and administrative personnel to support our international markets. As a result, our net income increased by 45% year-over-year, and it declined by 3% Q-over-Q to 1.1 billion. Net income margin expanded to 41% from 39% in the same quarter last year, mainly due to strong revenue growth and the lower selling and marketing expenses. That concludes our prepared remarks. We now like to open the call to questions. Operator, please go ahead.
Thank you. If you wish to ask a question, please press star one on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press star two. If you are on a speakerphone, please pick up your handset to ask your question. The first question comes from the line of Leon Qi with Daiwa. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. 感谢管理层给我这个提问的机会，我是戴瓦的李昂。想请教管理层两个问题。第一是我们这个新市场，那刚才管理层也讲到了，我们展业了两个新市场，日本和加拿大。那特别是在日本这一边啊，虽然说时间还比较短，我不知道我们管理层有没有观察到一些这个 early indicator， 比如说在我们的这个客户行为上面，他们的这个交易频率啊。他们 take margin 的这个比例啊，他们去交易的这些具体产品啊，不知道和我们在其他市场的这个客户啊，这些客户行为是不是有不同啊？另外呢，就是我们获客成本上面，这个有没有什么不同啊？这个 unit economics 麻烦管理层跟我们介绍一下啊。那另一个呢，就是关于我们的财富管理这一边，当然我们也看到这个 AUM 的增长是非常迅速啊。管理层刚才讲到这个货基可能是增长的一个比较主要的因素那当然在现在的这个美元利率环境之下，这个我们也可以理解货基增速比较高啊。那当然如果展望的稍微长一点，就是我们这个 cross 整个 interest rate cycle 里面，可能管理层觉得是哪一样类型的产品，除了货基之外啊，就非货基产品能够占到多大比例吧？以及想了解一下我们现在货基的这个 take rate 大概是怎么样的水平。好，那我用英文翻译一下Thanks management for taking my questions. This is Leon from Daiwa. My first question is regarding our new market, especially in Japan. We understand we just launched Japan in late September. I'm interested in the user behavior in terms of our Japan new clients. Does management see any early indicators in terms of the trading velocities, margin lending penetration, and the specific trading products that our Japanese clients are being engaged in? Is there any significant differences in terms of these metrics for customers in Japan versus other markets? And also, I'm interested to know the customer acquisition cost for us in Japan. So appreciate any color on the unit economics in Japan. And my second question is on wealth management. We do appreciate the very rapid growth of our AUM in wealth management, and per management introduction just now, money market fund is a major reason behind that. So I'm sure this is partly because of the high U.S. interest rates, but if we look at it from a cross interest rate cycle perspective, how much proportion does management expect the non-money market fund products to contribute in our overall wealth management AUM? And also, what is our take rate on money market fund now? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leo. Let my colleague Daniel answer the first question first, and I will answer the second question. Thank you.
Sure. So unfortunately, we now only offer U.S. cash equities trading to our Japanese clients. So it's we don't have margin, we don't have Japanese stock trading. So we only have data for client behavior on U.S. stock trading, and so far the turnover of U.S. stock trading is not so different from what we've seen in other markets. That being said, we have a very aggressive and ambitious product roadmap for next year, and some of the products that I mentioned that we don't support now will be rolled out in the next couple of quarters. And in terms of client acquisition cost, because we're coming from a small base of clients, whereas we have a lot of fixed costs for like setting up markets, setting up like offices in Japan, and hiring marketing personnel. So obviously our CAC for this quarter and next quarter in Japan will be higher than our group average. But over time, as we increase the number of clients in Japan, the CAC will gradually come down. And so far, we have no reason to believe that the CAC in Japan will be higher than what we've seen in other markets. And just to give you some other colors and updates on our Japan business, we now have slightly over 400,000 users on our platform, and overall users have been very active, and we observed that on average, during the trading days, our DAU to user ratio was close to 20%, which is the highest among all the markets we are currently in. And user growth, along with paying client growth, will be our key priorities for next year. Thank you.
Okay, for second question regarding the wealth manager, I think the key for us to do this kind of business is to engage a client and focus on the long-term values of the clients. Therefore, we do not put too emphasis on the near-term monetizations. But having said that, the take rate for these in the money market funds is essentially just similar to our other products, such as equity products or fixed income products. I think we have already established a very comprehensive matrix in terms of the product offerings in our Daxiang Taipu. For instance, besides the money market fund, we also have the equity products, fixed income products. In particular, as Leaf mentioned in the opening remarks, we have launched free floating rate note (FCN) products in the past 2 quarters and record a very strong growth. We think these products will further diversify our clients' asset allocations and help them to navigate different interest cycles down the line.
Thank you very much for your color, Arthur and Daniel.
Thank you. Next question comes from the line of Chiao Huang with MS. Please go ahead.
感谢管理层给我提问的机会，我有2个问题想请教管理层。第一个是关于这个，刚才管理层也提到这个 idle cash 环比有所减少，想请问这主要的原因是什么？咱们是否看到这个客户有一些存量的资金，它逐渐从这个 cash 放去了一些货币基金等等一些产品。另外跟着想请教一下，这个咱们新的这个客户的入金里面的这个比例，放在股票和这个基金大概是一个什么样的比例？这是第一个问题。第二个问题也想请管理层大概的谈一下这个，因为我们看到日本市场现在基本上也是最近进入了这个零佣金的时代，所以这个从下个季度开始，咱们可能从明年初开始推出这个日股之后，怎么去面对这么样去设计自己的这个策略去应对这样的一个竞争环境，以及长期来看这个从去 monetize 的角度来想的话，我们还有哪些别的一些办法？会否会考虑在日本再发展一些别的一些这种 monetize 的能力，包括这个财富管理、资产管理，或者是一些 trading 或者是外汇等等这些相关的能力？这是第二个问题，谢谢。然后我简单的翻译一下。The first question is on the idle cash, and we saw some sequential decline in idle cash. So just wondering what's the reason for that, and if we are seeing some of the existing clients are shifting their cash to mutual funds or other products. And also a related question is for the new inflow of client AUM, what's roughly the proportion between stocks and other investment products such as mutual funds? And second question is, can management talk about the strategy in Japan, as we are seeing some local brokers are offering zero commission already? So what's our competitive strategy there, and what's the thinking about the future monetization? Would we be considering building more comprehensive financial offerings and the capabilities in Japan in order to improve the monetization over time? Thank you.
好的，我来回答第一个问题，然后第二个问题由我的同事 Daniel 来回答。那有关我们这个季度的闲置资金占比下降的原因，主要是因为客户在本季度是买入了比较多的一些股票的一些资产特别是这个美股的这个资产，在这个季度末的那个时间。那么少量的这个资金呢，也是因为购买基金而减少的。 那需要你刚才问到的这个大概我们新的这个客户进来的这个资产的这个配置呢，大概在股票的这个仓位大概在70%左右，财富管理的这个仓位大概在10%左右，那么剩余的大概会有大概有20%左右是配置在这个闲置的这个资金的。In terms of your first question, the idle cash decrease was primarily due to our clients shift their cash positions to more equity stocks, especially on the U.S. stock assets at the quarter end. And also the partial reason is because some clients allocated more on the wealth management products during the quarter end as well. In terms of the new clients inflows, the allocations among cash, stock, and also the wealth management, roughly stock positions account for 70%, and the wealth management products account for 10%, and the remaining belongs to the idle cash. Thank you.
And Xiao, I'll take your second question on our monetization strategy in Japan. And yes, as you mentioned, we have seen a couple leading brokers in Japan gone to zero commission for Japanese stock trading, and we have reasons to believe that other brokers in Japan will probably follow suit. Well, no one's going to make money from Japanese equities trading, but U.S. stock trading is still quite profitable. SBI and Rakuten, for example, charge 45 bits for U.S. stock trading. We tend to price more aggressively than these incumbents, but we still expect to make very decent margins on U.S. stock trading. And as of the end of last year, we have seen that there are 2.3 million U.S. stock investors in Japan. That's relatively low compared to Japanese stock investors, but that has been growing pretty fast. As of the end of 2019, there were about 1 million U.S. stock investors. So over the past 4 years, it has more than doubled. And besides U.S. stock trading commission, we also intend to monetize over margin financing and foreign exchange fees. We've observed that Japanese investors really like to trade on margin. We have seen that for the industry average number, like around 50% of their trades are placed with margin. So that's going to be a key revenue driver. And then for FX charges, we understand that in order to compensate for zero commission for Japanese stock trading, all of the brokers in Japan charge pretty hefty fees for FX. So as the trading volume of U.S. stock trading on our platform grows, we also expect FX revenue to make a meaningful contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question comes from the line of Cindy Wang with China Renaissance. Please go ahead.
好，谢谢关于给我这个提问的机会。那我这边有2个问题想请教。第一个问题是关于一样是日本市场的，那想了解一下目前的一个开户入金的一个进度。那管理层有说到，就是说现在日本的一个用户大概有40万嘛，那不知道这个转换到入金用户数的一个比例大概有多少？那入金用户数如果我们从月环比的一个角度来看的话，是否有逐渐的在提升当中？然后第二个问题的话是想请教一下关于最近有就是报道指出，就是富途旗下的子公司有去申请这个虚拟资产交易平台的一个牌照，那可不可以跟我们说一下关于预计这个牌照的一个申请进度，然后以及就这个虚拟资产的一个这块目前的一个工作准备进度为何？是不是我们一拿到牌照之后就可以上线交易的功能？那我很快的翻译一下我的问题。Thanks for taking my question. So I have 2 questions. First one is related to Japan market. Can you share the cover of Japan's new paying clients progress? What's the conversion rate from registered users to paying clients? And have you seen new paying clients increasing month over month? Second question is for if the Futu subsidiary is applying for digital assets trading platform in Hong Kong, what is the progress looks like? And what is your preparation work for digital assets trading platform? Would you be able to launch trading functions immediately once the license is approved? Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. I will answer your second question first, and my colleague Daniel will answer your question regarding Japan. 有关那个香港的那个虚拟资产的这个牌照啊，我们注意到从去年开始，香港政府包括香港的监管机构在积极的推动数字经济 Web3 的生态圈的一个发展啊，他们希望把香港打造成一个国际虚拟资产的一个中心。那么在过去几个季度里面，我们对于香港的监管政策的动态，包括行业的一个趋势，进行了深入的一个研究啊，并希望能够积极去参与这样的一个牌照的一个申请的一个工作啊。那么依照 SFC 的香港 SFC 的这个监管的要求，我们也是于上周已经提交了虚拟资产交易平台运营者的这样的一个牌照的申请。Panther Trade 是富途集团下面的一家全资的这个子公司那么它已经递交了相应的一个申请。我们预计整个的一个原则性的一个批复需要大概6到9个月左右的一个时间会拿到一个原则性的批复。如果我们在第一批能够拿到牌照的话那目前对于未来的这个牌照获取以后如何去这个展业，目前我们还在做积极的一个相应的一个准备。那么从牌照的经营的范围里面是包含相应的这个交易的一个功能。We echo the Web3 policies advocated by the Hong Kong government, who want to build up Hong Kong as a Web3 global centers. In the past several quarters, we carefully studied the policies and the regulations issued by Hong Kong SFC. Panther Trade, a wholly subsidiary within Futu Group, submitted VSAP license applications to Hong Kong SFC last month, and we expect the whole application process may take at least 6 to 9 months if we have the luck to get approval in principles. And we have not formed a very concrete business plans afterwards, and we will continue to modify this content in the next couple of quarters, and hopefully we can give some new updates in next Q2 or Q3. Thank you.
谢谢 Cindy， 我来 take 第一个你关于日本的问题。那目前在日本市场，我们从用户到开户客户，然后从开户客户到入金客户的转化率都要比我们其他的国际市场要低一些。那我们觉得主要目前有2个原因吧。第一个原因是可能在我们的开户的这个黄金流程上，我们觉得还是有一些 friction points 的。那因为目前在日本证券行业的中后台还是涉及了不少体验参差的一些外包的系统。那我们为了尽快可以给客户提供这个开户的能力，其实采用了一些行业通行的一些安排，那这个对用户体验是有一定的负面影响的。那我们未来一段时间会重点去优化开户入金的这个黄金流程，然后在之后几个季度逐渐将这个流程中的一些外包的环节替代为我们自研的这个系统。那另外一个我们觉得造成这个转化率偏低的原因就是我们品类上的一些缺失吧。那我目前像刚才提到的只上线了美股正股的交易，那我们预计明年1季度可以上线日股的交易和这个 NISA 账户的能力。那虽然我们相信富途的这个美股交易能力在日本的市场中是遥遥领先的但是目前在日本日股依旧是本地投资者非常重要的一个交易的标的。那我们是希望我们之后在进行市场推广的时候品类也是比较完善的，所以根据我们对目前用户的一些调研，我们理解这个也是阻碍部分用户在我们这开户入金的一个原因吧。And I'm going to translate for myself. So right now in Japan, the user to client conversion rate as well as the client to paying client conversion rate are both lower than what we have observed in other international markets. And we think there are 2 main reasons behind it. Number one is that our account opening golden process still has a number of friction points. So far, the mid to back office in the Japan brokerage industry are still characterized by a lot of outsourced systems that have really unsatisfactory user experience. And in order to start account opening soon, we leveraged some of these outsourced systems, which really have a negative impact on our users' experience and thus impacted the conversion rate from account opening to asset deposits. And in the next couple of quarters, we plan to invest into our account opening process and gradually replace these outsourced systems with our proprietary system. And the second reason behind this low conversion rate so far is the lack of key trading products. And as mentioned earlier, we now only offer U.S. cash equities trading to Japan users. And in the first quarter of next year, we plan to launch Japanese stock trading as well as NISA account. Although we are really confident that Futu's U.S. stock trading capabilities lead our Japanese peers by a very wide margin. In Japan, Japanese stock investing is still very, very popular. And we understand based on our user survey that lack of Japanese equity trading is a key reason that prevents them from opening accounts with us. Thank you.
Mr. Wang, Ms. Wang, are you done with your question?
Yes.
Yes,
thank you
I am done.
It's very clear. Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants that you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Next question comes from the line of Peter Zhang with JP Morgan. Please go ahead.
谢谢管理层给我提问的机会。我对于日本这边我还有一个 follow up 的问题，我想问一下，在未来有没有机会，就是我们香港或者新加坡的用户可以去交易日股，就是在我们的 product pipeline 上有没有这个考虑？然后第二个问题是，就是这个季度交易的那个佣金费率环比有所下降，我想问一下背后的原因以及未来的趋势会如何？ Okay, let me do the translation. My first question is a follow-up question regarding the Japan product line. I wish to understand going forward, will the clients in Futu's clients in Hong Kong or Singapore market being allowed to trade Japan stock? Is this product in your product pipeline? My second question is regarding the blended commission fee rate. We noticed that the blended commission fee rate declined sequentially in third quarter. We wish to understand what's the reason behind and what will be the trend going forward. Thank you.
好的，谢谢 Peter， 我来回答你的这两个问题。第一个是有关这个日本的这个股票的交易会不会这个功能在其他的这些市场里面提供啊？那我们的答案是确定的啊，而且这已经在我们的相应的产品排期的这个相应的一个管线里面啊。我相信这个对于日本以外的其他的一些交易者的获取啊，包括他们的留存啊，以及对于我们的收入啊，都会有一个非常正面的一个帮助。那么第二个问题有关于这个我们的三季度的一个佣金费率的一个环比的一个小幅的一个下降啊，这个原因呢，我们在之前其实好几个季度我们也有解释过，主要的原因是我们的这个美股交易的这个收费啊是有两种不同的收费套餐啊，一种呢是按照百分比来收取，还有一种呢是按照股票的数量来收取啊，所以呢，客户在每个季度交易的股票的面值，交易的大面值的股票跟小面值股票的一个比例，会影响到我们一个综合的一个佣金费率的这样的一个影响在这个里面啊，所以这个季度的这个佣金费率的环比的小幅的一个下降，也是因为市场的一个原因在这个里面啊。那么展望未来的一个情况啊，我们目前对于整体的一个综合佣金费率的一个稳定，还是保持一个比较乐观的一个状态。Regarding two questions, number one is for the Japan stock trading offering to the markets outside of Japan. Our answer is definitely it will be a yes, and it has already been in our product pipelines. Hopefully, we can launch the Japan stock trading to our clients in Hong Kong, in Singapore in the near future. And we do think this kind of product offering will further helpful to our client engagement in these markets, and also increase the client's participations in our platform, and also our top line will also be benefit arising from that. Regarding the blended commission rate fluctuation, as we elaborate to the market several quarters, it is mainly due to the client's trading behaviors because our U.S. stock trading commissions do have different price menus, and one menu is actually not based on the percentage of the trading volume, but on the number of the shares. So when people trade these big blue chips or these OTC stocks, the combination will have the implications on the blended commission rate as well. In the third quarter, the fluctuation is mainly because of that. And going forward, we think, the blended commission rate, if we take out these trading patterns reasons, can maintain stable in the near future. Thank you.
谢谢，非常清楚。
Thank you. Next question comes from the line of Li Wan with BOCOM International. Please go ahead.
感谢给我提问的机会。我想请教一个关于利息收入的问题。就是整个今年收入的增长就是利息收入贡献比较大。那能否就是给我们拆解一下，就是比如说融资、融券和银行存款的贡献都分别是多少？然后如果明年美联储降息的话，会对我们收入的增速是一个怎样的一个影响？我翻译一下。Can you give us a breakdown of interest income and what will be the impact from Fed's rate cut next year? Thank you.
好的，有关利息收入的这个问题，我来回答一下。整体我们的这个利息收入里面，客户的闲置资金的这个利息收入的占比，贡献在今年的这个占比贡献是要高于融资融券的这个利息的一个收入的。那么往前看我们觉得整个的美联储减息的一个速度会是一个非常缓慢的一个状态。那么同时呢，在美联储减息的时候，虽然我们的利息收入会受到一定负面的一个影响但是联储的这个减息在同一个情况下也会刺激整体的一个资本市场的一个活跃的一个程度。那从以往去看在减息的这个周期里面，客户的一个参与市场的一个交易的一个活跃度，包括一个交易量都会有一个相应的一个上升，在一定程度上交易收入的一个上升会弥补掉我们的客户的一个闲置利息收入的一个下降在这个里面。In terms of the interest incomes, year to date, the interest revenues contributed from client idle cash is much bigger than the interest income derived from the margin lending and the security lending business. And going forward, we do not think the Fed's rate cut will be very fast. And in circumstances when the rate cut, normally it will be helpful to the trading volumes for the whole capital markets for our clients as well. Therefore, we do think the trading revenues arising from this rate cut will largely offset the potential idle cash revenue decrease. Thank you.
Ms. Wan, are you done with the question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Next question comes from the line of Emma Xu with BofA Securities. Please go ahead. Ms. Emma Xu, can you go ahead with your question?
Well, it seems that Emma is not here tonight. So if operator do have any further questions on the line?
There are no more questions, so I will now hand the call back over to Mr. Yuan for closing comments. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, so that concludes our call today. On behalf of the Futu management team, I would like to thank you for joining us today. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact me or any of our investor relations representatives. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. This concludes our conference for today. Thank you for participating. You may now disconnect.